Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for this Vivo X80. And guys, this is not the X80 Pro but the regular Vivo X80, because I feel the X80 Pro at about 80,000 is just overpriced. But this one, in fact, I would say after using it, and I've been actually using it and testing it for over a week, has exceeded my expectations. In fact, I think so that is because of the new Dimensity 9000 SoC that we are getting on this one. But again guys, again, like every other smartphone, this is also not perfect. There is one glaring flaw that I have with this one. I'll talk about it. So let's get on with this one. And again, watch, if you want to know what comes inside the box and all those things, watch my unboxing video. I had posted earlier. Good thing is that with this X80, actually in the box you get all the contents, unlike many of the flagship phones that you are getting these days, hardly get anything. So let's start, and first let's talk about the screen quality on this one. Again, it's having an AMOLED screen, 120 hertz AMOLED screen, so no issues with that one. And it's a 6.78 inch screen, so fairly big, almost about 6.8 inches that it is, but it's 120 hertz on this one. The thing that I do not like is that though yes, it supports 120 hertz, and in the settings, if you go, there is a variable refresh rate option on this one. By default it will be set to that auto. If you go to the display options here, so there is where it goes, screen refresh rate, it will say smart switch. But what I've noticed is that the smart switch simply does not work that well. When I was keeping it on smart switch, I noticed quite a bit of judders on this phone. It was not switchingly seamless to 120 hertz, so I forced it to 120 hertz. Yes, I know it will take a bit of hit of the battery life, but my testing is with the 120 hertz. And by the way guys, I'm actually recording this with my new camera A7 IV with the new lens, so do let me know what do you feel about this thing. So yes, good screen, enough brightness also. In fact, in outdoor conditions also it's enough bright, so that way it's a decent screen. Let's talk about the in-hand feel of this phone. In fact, in-hand feel is okay. It weighs 206 grams, and for a big size phone, 6.8 inch screen, it's neither too heavy nor light, and the weight balance is done well. But one thing I do not like on this smartphone is, if you notice, the screen is curved, and the back is also slightly curved, so it's actually very slippery. Especially when you're taking photographs like this, it can slip out. In fact, actually I dropped it twice, but luckily nothing happened. Once it fell on the screen area also, but luckily nothing happened. So it's actually slippery. Also, moving towards the back guys, this is not glass. It feels, and if you touch it, it feels like glass. No fingerprints also, but this is not glass. This is that polycarbonate plastic kind of a thing. Regarding the haptic feedback, that is the vibration motor on this one, and here I have to say I was impressed with this one, even much better than Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus, which I was using prior to this one. The haptic motor gives different kinds of vibration based on what you're doing, so it's excellent calibrated. I would say it's strong enough, and also I like that the vibration changes based on what you're doing on different apps and stuff like that. So that way I would say excellent haptic feedback. I was not expecting. I'm surprised with the haptic feedback. Generally excellent haptic feedbacks we used to get with the premium smartphone. That's the same case even with this. I would say the haptic feedback quality is almost as good as the iPhone 13 Pro on this one, so that way they have done a very good job. Next thing is regarding the speakers also. The speakers, it has stereo speakers, and I would say these are actually adequately loud. In fact, much louder than the S22 Plus, and I never had to actually keep it above 80% loudness. It's actually pretty loud, so no issues regarding that. Now moving to one more thing, this one has in-display fingerprint scanner, not the ultrasonic that we found on the X80 Pro, but this works seamlessly, as you can see. So I have no issues regarding the fingerprint scanner. It's done well, as you can see. Now moving to the RAM management on this one. In fact, I have the higher end variant. This comes in two variants guys, 8 GB of RAM and 12 GB of RAM. Here are all the specs if you want to know what is it all about. I feel it's actually pretty aggressive in RAM management, and I would say the RAM management is sort of average. Okay, if you're just using the phone and have used the apps a couple of hours ago, it will keep it in memory. But if you don't use an app for a couple of hours, it has a bad habit of booting it out of the memory. And I think so this it's doing to conserve the battery life, and this can be sometimes be a issue. For example, the MyGate app that I have, sometimes I was not getting the notification on this one, even though I went to the settings and enabled and gave it all the permission. So I feel RAM management is just super aggressive, even though the smartphone was having ample RAM free. It tries to kill the apps that you don't use every couple of hours. So that way, I would say it's sort of average, not that great. Okay, moving to the next thing is, here I was surprised. This one has a 4500 milliamp hour battery. And the battery life that I was getting on this phone is fabulous. In fact, way better than I expected. And I think that this is because of the new Dimensity 9000 SoC, which is based on 4 nanometer process. In fact, this is the first smartphone launched in India with the Dimensity 9000, and this is the flagship from MediaTek. In fact, goes head to head in terms of Snapdragon, but I would say in terms of efficiency, this chipset is more efficient than even the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. To give you an idea, I saved some screenshot. Let me actually show you. Okay, these are the photographs that I had taken. I'll show you that also later on. Camera is good. If we go to screenshots, albums and screenshots, yeah, over here it is. And okay, yeah, it's all the photos it says. And let me go to screenshots. Yeah, okay, here if you notice, this was at 7% what do you say left. Again, I feel the battery stats are also a little bit off. For example, speed test, as I say, it says it's consuming 57% battery, which is completely wrong. Again, YouTube also, it says 9 hours I've used it, I didn't use it. Screen on time, if you look, it is 6 hours 6 minutes, and you'll say, Ranjit, what is big deal? 6 hours 6 minutes is nothing. But notice the standby time. That was after 2 days and 3 hours. Yes, 2 complete days. That is what I'm talking about. This is one of the rare flagships that you don't have to charge every day. The standby time is so good and the power optimization is so good that the battery lasts like a mid-range smartphone. In fact, if I actually tried to kill this in a single day and I could not. Okay, so in terms of screen on time, the SOT is actually very good on this smartphone. I've saved some more screenshots. Here it was at 19% and 5 hours 90 minutes. This was after about 1.5 days. So in terms of screen on time, this is one of those rare flagships where you can easily get about 6 to about 8.5 hours of screen on time with full 1 day of usage. In fact, even 1.5 days of usage you can get. The standby time is so good, and I think so that boils all down to the MediaTek Dimensity 9000, and definitely this chipset is way more power efficient than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, because I have now used almost 3 different flagship smartphones with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and they simply do not come that good in battery life. So battery life was a big surprise, and also the charging is good. The bundle chargers that you get is 80 watts. So excellent battery life for a flagship device. Exceeded my expectations, to be very blunt. Let's talk also about the processor on this one, the Dimensity 9000. Again, it handles even this Fun Touch UI without any issues, no lag. I'm keeping it at 120 Hertz. That's not a problem. And one thing that I like with this chipset is that with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, even if you're just casual task and stuff like this, now the back used to feel warm, not hot but warm. That is not the case with this one. In fact, I did some gaming also. I don't play a lot of games, guys, so check for hardcore gaming. I did play Call of Duty, in fact, and the performance was very good. I could play it at the very high settings, but even after multiple games, the back did not heat up. It was not hot to touch. So that way, I would say in regular usage, the phone does not heat up that much compared to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So I feel in the thermals also, they have done a very good job, which was a big surprise to me, because generally the flagships, they generally get hot. It's like a 1000cc bike engine. You drive it, it becomes hot. It's like that. But here, it's an exception, I would say. Next thing is regarding the cellular call quality and the network reception. Currently, still my main SIM, that is my Airtel SIM, is on this one. And I have to say, I was surprised. The network, reception and the cellular call quality and the earpiece are excellent on this one. That's the reason I did not remove my primary SIM. My primary SIM is still in this smartphone. Excellent network reception. Even the earpiece is very good. No issues of proximity sensor or anything like that. And in fact, Wi-Fi calling, I have to use it in this area where the signal is not that great. It works very, very well. So no issues regarding network reception that I got. In fact, Irshad from Tracking Tech said that his unit is having an issue. I think so it's just his unit, because I am not having any network issues and I'm using it with my primary SIM, that is Airtel. Now moving to one thing that was really surprising to me. I always noticed that the Wi-Fi reception on this one was much better than most of the smartphones that I've used. So I wanted to test that, and I did test it. For example, this is my iPhone 13 Pro, and let me just log on to this one, and let's do a speed test. See, I just ran this speed test just about a few minutes ago, but let's run it again. And I'm going to use the same server, Airtel broadband. I'm on the Airtel connection, and let's just see what it does. Okay, so this is the iPhone 13 Pro, actually getting pretty good speeds, almost 800 as you can see. So 785, 800, almost like 785. Upload, I don't know why. Okay, so this is what we got. Okay, let's do the same thing on this one, same server, so that you don't get a difference. And crossed 880. It went till 880. See, it crossed it. 800, 850, 860, 900. This is, guys, I'm not kidding. This is the highest that I've seen with any smartphone that I've tested, and I test a lot of smartphones. As you can see, this was the iPhone 13 Pro. Okay, see the speeds that I'm getting on this one. I'm like flabbergasted. Results 900, 800. The iPhone is just 750, 800. That is what even other Android smartphones are capping out at. So in terms of networking, I was like shocked with this one, and I think so that's why even at in my house in extreme ends, the Wi-Fi reception and everything was so good with this smartphone. So hats off to MediaTek and the Vivo team who is putting the antennas on this one. They have done an excellent job on this smartphone in terms of network reception, Wi-Fi. This is the fastest. This has now become my benchmark for smartphone. This is the maximum speed that I have got till date. Period. Okay, moving to next thing, and this is the downfall of this smartphone, I would say. This is the Fun Touch UI. Don't get me wrong. They have cleaned it quite a bit, so it mimics stock Android. But still, I would say for a flagship, it installs so much bloatware. I will uninstall about 4 or 5 apps. It installs so many bloatware, and some of the bloatware, even if you don't activate them, keep sending you unnecessary notifications here. So that is something that I do not like. Yes, you can disable it. For example, this Byju's, or again as a bloatware, you can uninstall it. But when a person is paying above 50,000, he should not do all this shenanigans. And in fact, there is also a built-in browser app which I just simply do not use. I have actually disabled notifications from this one. This also keeps sending you unnecessary notifications here in the notification pane. And also, it randomly just keeps asking you for some weird, permissions again and again. I don't want this. So if I disagree also, if I just come back, it will ask me. So there are some issues like this, and I feel Vivo needs to clean this up, because what I have noticed is that the UI, what is there on this smartphone, is exactly the same UI which is given on even 15,000 rupees smartphones from Vivo. They didn't give a premium clean experience UI on this one, and I think so that's the biggest flaw that I have with that one. And that's why I think so the RAM management is also very aggressive. They have to actually do aggressive RAM management on mid-range smartphone. I think so they just dumped it like that. So I think so that's the biggest drawback of this smartphone. It's not like it's not usable, but at this price point, this amount of bloatware and all this thing, I feel is unacceptable in my frank opinion. This might be a downturn, I don't know. Out of the box, this comes with Android 12 out of the box, so you're getting Android 12 without, so that's not an issue. As you can see, Android 12 out of the box. And Vivo has said that this will get next 2 years of Android updates also, and 3 years of security updates, something like that. But from the past record of Vivo, some of their earlier even flagship smartphones have still not get the Android 12 update. So I can't vouch about the update situation of this smartphone. So that is something I just don't know. How will this age? expect moving forward. Okay, moving to the next thing, and that is a big plus point of this smartphone, that is the camera. And again, the rear facing camera, the optics are like designed and co-developed with Zeiss, and it does make a difference. The main and in fact it's the Sony sensors they are using on this one. The main camera is actually a 50 megapixel with OIS. Then we have a 12 megapixel that's a proper 2x zoom, and again we have a 12 megapixel that's ultra wide. And the samples that I took with this one also come out very good. In fact, it has the Zeiss optimizations and the cinematic mode and all those things that we find on the X80 Pro also. So that way it is good. And as you can see, the samples that I got with this one were very, very good. In fact, in low and difficult lighting conditions also, it does far better than what I expected. Moving to the front facing camera, this was also good. And again, here are some video samples that I have taken with this smartphone. Guys, recording the video with the front facing camera, and again at the front facing camera we also have that Zeiss video, something I'm using. It's stretched a little bit, but the thing to notice that strangely, even on the Pro, we don't have 4K video recording. We just have 1080p. I'll just switch to the normal, full HD mode to give you an idea how it looks. So guys, this is the regular 1080p video, but strangely I don't get it. The sensor is capable of recording 4K, even 8K. 8K I know it's a gimmick with the front facing camera, but considering both the Vivo X80 and the X80 Pro are camera centric smartphone, I simply just still can't get over it. Why have they disabled 4K video recording with the front facing camera? So that is something that is missing, but looks like at least in the preview the video quality is good. So this is a quick sample recorded with the front facing camera. This is the Vivo X80. Guys, recording this video with the rear facing camera of this Vivo X80, and by default it should be at full HD, but I've moved it to 4K, and 4K it can even record in 60 fps. I'm recording this at 30 fps. I'm just walking normally to give you an idea how the video looks. It's just morning hour, so some areas the sun has come, some it hasn't. Here it's a pretty shadowed area. Let's see how it does in exposure. It's actually doing a pretty good job. Let's see, here we have a sunny area, here shadowed area. So looks like in video it's doing a decent job even in 4K. You guys let me know, what do you feel about this same? So camera overall, I would say the rear facing camera was very good, but I'm still bummed. Why does the front facing camera, which is a 32 megapixel, does not have 4K video recording? I'm just scratching my head. Why? I just don't get it. Okay, now moving to the 5G bands. This does support 5G bands, and this supports 11 bands of 5G. And lastly, let me talk about the pricing of this smartphone. This smartphone is priced at 55,000, but there is a 5,000 rupees discount. And some people on Twitter were telling that in the offline market, you can get it for about 48,000. So I feel for that price point, it's decent for what you are getting. The hardware, the build quality is amazing on this one. So in terms of build quality, they have done a very, very good job. But let me do one thing. Let me actually read the summary. I've been the laptop over here. Let me read the summary what I wrote about this smartphone. To be frank, this device surprised me. It performed way better than what I expected. And this is coming from a person who was using the Galaxy S22 Plus. The build quality and attention to hardware is top notch. Example, the haptic motor, stereo speakers, the networking, the Wi-Fi performance that we got. The overall fit and finish of this device is excellent, and I think so the excellent performance that we are getting in battery life is also thanks to the Dimensity 9000 SoC, and which does not heat up like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in similar conditions. The camera is also excellent on this one thanks to the Zeiss collaboration and the Zeiss optics that we have, and also the software optimization what Vivo has done with the smartphone. But I'm still bummed, why don't we have 4K video recording with the front facing camera? What is the biggest flaw with this device is the FunTouch UI. The build and the bloatware that we get with the same. Even the cheaper iQOO Neo 6 does not have this much bloatware. and that has an option of not installing bloatware while setting up the smartphone. This one does not have that. Vivo needs to separate the software UI that they use on their premium smartphones like this and also clean it up a bit more. I think so. That is the biggest thing for me regarding this smartphone. Also regarding the update, as I've told you, I don't know how prompt Vivo would be pushing out updates on this smartphone considering the past track record. But still, considering the overall hardware for the price, you can get it for about 50,000 or less in India. It's a solid, outstanding performer. Considering the overall performance I got with this smartphone, barring the fun touch UI experience. So guys, this was my review of the Vivo X80. What do you feel about the same? Anyways guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and if you guys are still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care guys.